Hello. This is a banger of a song. Okay. This might be a little too loud though. Okay. So yesterday, did all this. I think the most important thing to get done today is that I need to get a format, and I need to respond only in that format. That is kind of what I've been pondering on, and it's really just prompt engineering. So I think the best step first is to either ask Google or to ask GPT, and I think it would need to be an updated answer based kind of a more recent answer, so I'm gonna ask Google. I'm gonna say prompt engineering, get GPT to respond in certain JSON format. This might be what I'm looking for. Maybe this one. Wouldn't it be so nice to have something automate this process I'm going through right now? You know, that might be a good idea. Like an automation, like a research automation bot. Because I mean, I almost follow the same general process every time I'm researching. I guess the hard part would be getting the bot to understand when it's actually found some novel information, like some applicable valuable information. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, so we have a few ones. Right, that's really boring. Yada yada yada. List as JSON object. That's good. Still not usable, correct. We would need specific key value pairs. Sub-object of puzzle. Ah, yes. Okay, so this is kind of what I've done before. Which I actually should probably look at my other project. You know what, let's look at our other project. Here is the other one. I think I've already done something like what I need. If that's the case, then I don't need to reinvent the wheel. So in this method, let's see, how did I do it? To user, yes, okay, so this is literally what I said. Here's the format GPT should respond with. List its understanding. Okay, that doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem what I was looking for. Yeah, I don't think so. I could have swore I've done this somewhere though. I guess the question is just where. Maybe in here. Yeah, this is it. There we go. Your response to this should be in JSON and no extra text. And then I gotta use English. Simple as that. I don't know why, but programming in English, it just feels weird to me. Cause I guess it's been a decade of coding in very syntactical non-English. And now my brain's just like, ah. Okay, so I'm gonna copy that. Let's go to the other project. There's gotta be a prettier way to do it than this, honestly, but now it's just gonna be a long ass string of my code. Okay, I'm gonna paste this. Your response to this should be in JSON and no extra text. How do I want to format it? The JSON should... Okay. It's like already formatted in my mind, but I just gotta figure out how to translate that format in my mind. Let me look at this again. So we have a list of concepts. Each concept has a percentage and a description. JSON should contain a key called... What should I name it? Let's name it polarized ideas. Maybe I should combine this with the English part. Key called for that is array. I'm gonna assume that GPT can guess what that's supposed to be. I'm not gonna. Let's hope. That's definitely an assumption I'm taking. The JSON should contain a key called polarized ideas that is array. Each item in polarized ideas is an object containing two keys. Key 1 is called percent confidence, and key 2 is called percent explanation. Okay, so there are a lot of assumptions I'm making for GPT here. Really a test of GPT's intelligence, I suppose. So now, before I move on, yeah, let's just test this out and see what happens. Let's find a tweet. Let's use the tweet we used last time. That was a pretty good one. Okay. Here is the tweet. Going to copy that. I don't need this stuff. Okay, paste that in. And let's see how it goes. Submit. I think it might have worked. So we got a JSON as a response, polarized ideas, it's an array of objects with 2 keys. It looks like it did fantastic, honestly. It's pretty interesting how often the percentages change. Let's read it though. Let's read what it says. Oh, I realized the mistake I made here. We're missing a key. We're missing the actual idea itself. Okay, so let's just make sure to add that in. Object containing 3 keys. So let's say key 1 is called what should I call it? Idea title. It's not really a title though. It's like the idea itself. I call it idea itself. What's something meme worthy? I mean, idea itself's pretty funny. Yeah, let's just for the meme, let's say idea itself. Key 2. Key 3. I don't know, something about, I don't like the word itself. It's like that word is not pretty. I could say the idea, but then it starts with the, and I don't like that word either. Screw it, I'm gonna go with the meme. It's gonna be called idea itself. Alright. So I'm still gonna read what it says here. Confidence is fairly confident that the idea that the only instance of intelligence we know is bound uniquely to biology is a polarized idea. Okay, is this confidence GPT's? Okay, so it's saying this is GPT's confidence, not the creator's confidence, which is not ideal. There's a subtle difference there, but I think that subtle difference is pretty important, to be honest. Okay, but I'm still gonna read this. This is because it presents a binary viewpoint without considering other possibilities. The use of the word only suggests a strong bias towards this viewpoint. Confidence GPT is also fairly confident in the explanation given for lineage, as it provides logical reasoning to support the polarized nature of the idea. That's quite interesting. So it's given me the explanation is multifaceted. I meant it to not be multifaceted. Prompt engineering is something else. Okay, so let's read the other one. He has a moderate level of confidence that the idea that worries about the emergence of AGR is its polarized idea. It presents an extreme viewpoint without considering any potential risks or benefits associated with AGI. However, confidence should be right as this may not necessarily be a polarized idea in all contexts, and thus the confidence level is lower than the previous idea. The explanation for this is also moderate in confidence, as it highlights the potential bias present. Okay, we need to make this not multifaceted. That is something we need to do. So why is it doing it like that? It's especially positive from user technical level. Oh, I guess I didn't really. I guess I need to specify that. Actually, it's prompting me. It's actually prompting me. It's like, what do I want? How do I want this to work? Making me think now. It's like, do I want what's more valuable? So I paste someone's tweet in. What we want is the confidence of the person that posted the tweet, which in reality we don't know, but we want GPT to guess. I believe that's what we want, right? Yes. Yes, I'm pretty sure. How can I prompt that better? Your insight is percentage of polarized ideas from either written text and quantifying the syllable of each idea. I wish I could speak as fast as I could think. That would be ideal. So I think this is where I need to change the prompt. Quantifying confidence level of each idea. Let's rephrase this. Quantifying how confident the user or the creator of the text is in each idea. It's a prediction. I need to mention that it's a prediction. And quantifying a prediction, yes, a prediction on how confident the creator of the text is in each idea. I think that will do a lot better, actually. This might give us what we want. So let's take this and resubmit it. Fingers crossed. Okay. Let's see what we got. It's only responding in JSON, so that is actually perfect. So first one, the idea itself. AGI is impossible to create? Did it say that? I don't think it said that. I don't think he said it's impossible to create. That is I mean, it's kind of implied. But he doesn't say it's impossible. That's an issue. The idea itself is... The detected idea is polarized itself more than the idea in the actual text. Let's see if it fixed this issues we were having earlier, though. So confidence GPT detects words such as not given, no idea, possible. I don't know where it detected the word impossible at. The word impossible is not even in there. So it's probably, I guess it's taking it from the chat log and acting like that chat. It's acting like this is a part of this, which is not ideal. Presence of hysterical nonsense also suggests a dismissive attitude towards opposing ideas. So I think this is better, though. I think we fixed the previous issue. Let's read the rest of them. Intelligence is uniquely bound to biology. Statement is an absolute, suggesting a high degree of confidence. The word only indicates limitations to this view. Where does C only? Okay, yeah, it's mixing up words. I need to figure out how to make it stop mixing up different parts of a statement. Maybe it's mistaking only for uniquely? Oh my god. Thanks for killing my ears, song. Is this what AI is gonna listen to in the future? once they are sentient. It's interesting how it's making a lot of mistakes here. I need to figure out why. The lack of consideration for counter-arguments reinforces the score. Okay. So I guess the next step is figure out how to fix this weird issue it's having. Let's see, how am I doing this? So I'm passing the system message, and then I'm passing the user message. The user message is literally just a tweet. So why is it's hallucinating? Darn AI. Okay, so it didn't say the word impossible is actually there. It said words such as, and it not given is definitely there. Not a given. But still, I think that issue I'm detecting is still there. For example, creator didn't say that. It said not a given, which doesn't mean impossible. How do we make that more accurate? Next, here comes a list of polarized ideas. 100 and an explanation of this on that percentage. Okay. This song is trippy as heck. So I need to somehow clarify for it to not make up the ideas. The idea needs to specifically be what the user said. Like, that's very important. Do not hallucinate ideas, GPT. Okay, provide a passive text and confidence GPT to generate a comprehensive list of polarized ideas. Maybe that's where I messed up. Will generate a comprehensive list of polarized ideas. So let's say we'll list, we'll display, we'll return. We'll return a comprehensive list polarized ideas from the user text. That should do it. I feel like that'll do it. That'll fix this issue. Okay, and we shall retry. Alrighty. So the idea, making an AGI is not a given because we have no idea what the principle. We have no idea what the principles. GPT had just. Their grammar is poop right here. What happened? Oh, it's because the person that tweeted their grammar was messed up. So technically GPT's not in the wrong there. That's actually perfect. That's the idea. Person is confident. You know, now I'm wondering. I'm wondering, maybe it's actually kind of important to find those extremes, like those polarized. So like, for example, this statement right here is a polarized idea, but if you phrase it a little bit differently to be more extreme, that's like a different polarized idea, if that makes sense. And Mr. Lee Cronin may actually have different confidence intervals on the different variations of the polarized ideas, which is super interesting. But let's read the explanation. Confidence GPT detected a strong assertion indicating that the author firmly believes that the principles underlying intelligence are currently unknowable. I wouldn't say that's what he said. I wouldn't say they're unknowable. He just says, right in this moment, we have no idea what they are. But unknowable has a sense of like, we'll never know them, which I don't think that's what he's saying. I mean, it's still a good answer, just not great in my opinion. I also don't know how consistent these percentages are ending up. Like, if they're not consistent, that kind of defeats the point, I feel like. Which I might be able to adjust the temperature in order to change that around. Well, it does say currently unknowable, which I guess if you combine those two, I guess that makes sense. I'd say that's a pretty good percent confidence though. Okay, therefore worries about the emergence of AGI are hysterical nonsense. Detected a clear assertion, but with slightly less certainty as the previous idea. Indicating that the author has a high level of confidence in their opinion, but may still admit to the possibility of being wrong. Why does it think that? I don't understand why it thinks that. Why does it detect slightly less certainty as the previous idea? Like, where did that come from? I'm probably gonna have to change the prompting to make it be more detailed. So the only instance of intelligence we know is bound uniquely to biology. Current physics cannot explain biology. GPT detected a very strong assertion indicating that the author believes there is currently no scientific evidence that synthetic intelligence is possible. This leads to a 95% confidence score in this idea. Yeah, this is too simple. We need more explanation than that. So let's try to change the prompt. So you are T and it's presented by a text quantifying it. How confident? Turn a comprehensive list of polarized ideas. 100 and explanation of how it's on that one. So let's change this a little bit. Of 100 and a As and an as detailed as possible nation. Hopefully that, yeah, I don't know, this isn't a super big change, but hopefully this is good enough. An as detailed as possible explanation. I don't really know how else to word it, to be honest. So let's just try it, I guess. It's not a big change. Maybe it'll change the output pretty significantly. Submit this. Crazy this album was created in 2000. Seems very modern. Looks like I did not listen at all. That, I guess I prompted terribly because this is tiny now. It went from, it's like really tiny now. Let's still read it though. Let's still read it. So it's 70% confident that the creator of the text believes worries about AGI are overblown and uncertainty surrounding creating an AGI. 85% of the creator of the text believes that the current understanding limited. How does the physics part even relate? I'm not even sure I understand this part. Creator of the text believes that the current understanding of physics is insufficient to fully explain how biological systems work. Okay. So I feel like these are pretty good explanations, but they're so short. I feel like I wanted detail, you know? So maybe it's because I'm saying the explanation somewhere else too. And this is where I kind of explain the idea. Of how confidence decided on percentage. I wonder if this will affect anything. If I do how/y. I feel like I don't feel like it will, but I think it's worth a shot. Alright. Doesn't look like it did much, honestly. Maybe this is too broad of a key value pair. Maybe that's the issue. But not necessarily without merit. That's not what I got from that statement. How did it come up with that? He literally said hysterical nonsense. I don't think that part makes sense. This author asserts that intelligence is uniquely tied to biology, that current physics cannot account for biological systems. Suggesting a strong belief that artificial intelligence will also be dependent on biological principles. I suppose that's a good answer. So I think what I need to think about now is, should I break this down into more key value pairs? Is this too little? Like too broad? It's like too broad, so it has to break it down into like a really summarized thing, and that summarized thing is got a lot of information loss. But I'm wondering, how can I break that down? So let's see, what are we doing here? What we're doing is here's the polarized idea stated from the tweet. Here's the percent confidence. Here's the explanation explaining that confidence from the creator of the tweet. Well, this is a prediction, but how would I even break that down? I guess another... I guess maybe what I can do... Am I feeding... Is it seeing the responses itself? I don't know if it's seeing its own responses. I think it is. I guess I don't really know how that works. But I think maybe coming up with a list of assumptions would also be a good idea. So I'm gonna do that. Our prompt is getting bigger and bigger. To get started, the user will simply... I'm gonna change this. Oh my god, this sounds horrible. I'll get this song like 2 more tries. If it stays annoying, then I will switch it. and a list of assumptions creator of the text. A list of assumptions the creator of the text has related. I'm getting lost in the prompt. It's getting longer and longer. Along with respective 100 to a detailed explanation of how and 3 list of assumptions as related to this. Yeah. I don't know if I prompted that very great, but we'll see. Let's add commas. Three is copies. Nation. 4 is called idea assumptions. See what happens. Also, this sounds so much like System of a Down. This is like a different language System of a Down. It's apparently Podificar. Did I already submit it? Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, let's try it again. Okay. Current physics cannot explain biology. Use of cannot suggests a high level of confidence. Speaker assumes that there is no current explanation for biological intelligence within the realm of physics. Making an AGI is not a given because we have no idea what the principles of intelligence. The use of not a given is just a moderate level of confidence. Why does it keep doing that? It's not explaining. It's supposed to explain why. Speaker assumes that the principles behind biological intelligence are unknown and not easily reproducible in an artificial intelligence system. Worries about the emergency of historical nonsense. These historical nonsense is just a somewhat confident opinion. It's speaker assumes that worries about the emergence of AGI are irrational or overblown. I gotta figure out what's going on, like why it's doing what it's doing. It's just not giving us good answers. It's giving us really short. Why are the answers so short? So maybe I should remove how and just use why. A detailed explanation of why Confidence GPT decided on that percentage. Make sure, how can I prompt this? Maybe I should say a complete explanation instead of detailed. A complete explanation. A list of assumptions the creator of the text has related to this idea. So let's do some Googling. OpenAI guy, what is default temperature? It's probably different for the different APIs if I had to guess though. Oh, it defaults to 1? Yep. It's going to depend on the task you are giving GPT. 0 or up to 0.3. Writing tasks, you should be highly creative. 0.7 and 1. So I suppose I'm going to want a lower temperature. I think I'll try 0.3 for now, and just see what happens, I guess. I think the max tokens might be causing me an issue as well. Before I do this, what is the max tokens? Chat. Yep. Hopefully they documented this. Let's do a search. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Next. Defaults to 16. That might be the issue right there. Oh, this is regular completions. What about chat completions? It's a chat completion? I don't think so. This might be it. Yep, that's it. Okay, so chat completions defaults to infinity, apparently. So that means it's not an issue. Okay. So let's just try the temperature thing. Alright. Let's see how it responds this time. Pretty quick response. Oh, this is interesting. So, lower temperature, less creative, less variation. Higher temperature, more creative, more variation. That's my understanding. So let's see what we have here. The author expresses a high level of confidence in this idea because they state that we currently have no understanding of the principles that underpin intelligence, which suggests that creating an AGI is not a guaranteed outcome. That seems like a pretty darn good explanation in my opinion. So the idea assumptions here is that intelligence is uniquely bound to biology. Physics cannot explain biology. So the idea itself, worries about the emergence of AGI are hysterical nonsense. So I wonder why it identified this as not being a polarized idea. Maybe I need to change it. Instead of being polarized ideas, maybe I need to find a new term, like I thought in the very beginning. Not necessarily an idea that's polarized, but any idea that is binary. Maybe that's it, binary idea. Let's do some Google in there. Might even just use ChatGPT, that might be able to help. What is a word similar? What is a word slash phrase similar to binary idea that means an idea that what is a list of words slash phrases similar to idea that means idea that humans will be biased towards believing it is true or false. Hopefully that makes sense. An idea that's perceived as either true or false without considering its nuances and complexities in which humans tend to be biased towards. False dilemma, absolute thinking, dichotomous thinking, dogmatic thinking, preconceived notions. I'm thinking of a term for the idea itself, not a type of thinking. A dualistic belief. Polarized. Dichotomist. I guess I already have it pretty good. It's either polarized, binary, or dichotomous. Let's look up some definitions here. So, in which the axis is divided into two branches. Dichotomous might be a better word. Divided or dividing into two parts. Okay. So what about polarized definition? I think polarized is too heavy. It's too heavy of an idea. Binary is also good, but I think dichotomous might be better. I feel like they purposely make the songs on this album, it's like they get to the point where they just annoy you and then they stop. It's like that's like the catch to that album. That's like the thing that they purposely did. Okay, so I don't like polarized. So I guess it's binary versus dichotomous. Binary idea. Oops. Ah, okay. Yeah, this is what I'm a little bit worried about. So I'm not going to use polarized anymore. And dichotomous is just a big word. So I think I might just go with binary. The reason I don't like binary is because it's... I don't know. It doesn't seem associated with hot topics, you know? Neither is dichotomous. Actually, before I continue, let's do a little bit more Googling. Binary idea versus... It won't let me click. That was weird. Okay, so versus dichotomous idea. Someone in 2013, wow. What's the difference between... So everything that is dichotomous is binary, but not everything that is binary is dichotomous. That's interesting. I'm not sure I totally understand. Splitting something into two parts. Not everything that is binary is dichotomous. Anything involving two things. Let's look for another one. I think that's yeah, I think that's the only. Yeah. Okay. We're going with binary. Especially in detecting binary ideas from user written text. But it's weird. It's like binary doesn't fully capture what I'm going for here. Like, binary in what way? Binary ideas. What is a term or idea? Say, what is a list of terms for an idea that can be agreed or disagreed with? Polemical. Okay. I guess this is a pretty simple, like, disputable idea or arguable idea, debatable. Detecting, is it specializes in detecting I feel like there's gotta be a better word though. Let's just explain it myself, which are ideas that can't any idea be agreed or disagreed with though? That's a good question. Can any idea be? Let's see what BT has to say. Can any idea be agreed or disagreed with? Okay, so maybe any idea in existence can be... So what am I trying to detect here? Yeah, because if I'm analyzing a gigantic piece of text, we don't want to list out every single idea. I guess we would technically just want the key ideas. I think that's what we want. I guess what's most important is the most controversial, almost. But it's gonna really depend, because sometimes the non-controversial ideas are gonna be very important. Okay. So let's say controversial binary ideas. Of binary ideas from user text. Along with their respective this out of 100. The explanation of y decided on that percentage. Okay. Let me reread that thing GPT said. Some ideas may be more difficult to evaluate than others, depending on things such as the complexity of the idea, the amount and quality of available evidence, the level of subjectivity or ambiguity involved, and the degree of consensus or disagreement. I don't like that one. But I kind of agree though. There is some signal to experts. And it's important they said stakeholders too. So I'm wondering if I should track some of this stuff. Maybe I can track the complexity of the idea. Yeah, maybe I can track all of this. I think I might do that. But first I'm gonna see what the prompt changes I made do. So I'm gonna save this. And then we're gonna retry. See what we get. Oh, I forgot to rename the key. That might mess things up actually. Before I do this, let me just got short-term terrible memory, so let's fix this. The JSON should contain a key called binary ideas. Each item in the binary ideas is an object containing 4 keys, yada yada yada. Okay, sweet. Okay, so yeah, I think it actually gave me the exact same answer this time around. I did save that, didn't I? Yeah, I saved. So I'm actually gonna retry. Let's take this tweet, copy it, and let's try again. Hopefully I'm not running up my API usage too much. I definitely cannot afford it. Thank you, US taxes. Okay, so it responded with almost the same thing. Which I guess that really displays how temperature affects the output of an LLM. Okay. So the idea, making an AGI is not a given. The confidence is 90%. The author seems confident in this idea because they acknowledge that we have no understanding of the principles that underpin intelligence, making it difficult to create an AGI. Did they say no understanding? Is that accurate? He did say no idea. But I don't think he worded it quite that way. Okay, and then the assumptions are that intelligence is uniquely bound to biology. Current physics cannot explain biology. We have no understanding of the principles that underpin intelligence. The author is somewhat confident in this idea, but not as much as the previous idea. They use strong language to dismiss concerns about AGI, but also acknowledge the uncertainty around creating one. Did they acknowledge the uncertainty? I guess they did acknowledge it by even making this statement. I guess that's pretty interesting. So while this is pretty awesome, it doesn't seem like it's enough. And it's messing me up because it feels like maybe I need to order it by the amount of controversialness. Because like these seem like binary ideas too. Like these are binary ideas. I guess every idea is a binary idea. So we just need to idea. Interesting. I know there's something here. I'm just trying to figure out exactly how to get there. So I guess I'll start. Reread this ChatGPT message again. I guess the first thing I really want is to get all of the binary ideas. How do I get it to list every binary idea instead of just... But then we run into the same issue where like if it's a really big piece of text, there's going to be a lot of ideas. I don't know if we want it to list that many ideas. It's kind of tough. So if I paste a research paper and I say just every binary idea, and that paper's 30 pages long, you're gonna have a lot of ideas. So when how do you know when to actually list the idea or not? That is the part that's kind of hard. I guess maybe I need to what if it's an assumption? I think all assumptions should probably be listed as well as binary ideas. Let's take a look at that. You are confidence GPT. Yeah, this is getting tough. Definitely getting tough. But I do think I'm onto something when it comes to also listing the assumptions as binary ideas. Hello. But I don't know how to make it list the assumptions as binary ideas as well. That's the big issue. I mean, it's just a prompting thing, but not the easiest thing. Okay, so I guess I could just prompt it. I mean, it's natural language, so I should just prompt it in natural language the way that I'm thinking about it in my brain. Ideas from user in text and quantifying the prediction on how confident the creator of the text is in each idea. Yada yada yada. So return a comprehensive list of binary ideas from the user text with yada. Okay. Any assumption should also be added as a binary idea. I doubt that's gonna work, but I'm gonna try it. Okay. Whoa. This broke it. That completely broke it. What the hell? Well, that is bizarre. Huh. Okay. I'm gonna go back and retry. Maybe I can add like a additional notes section. There was a better way to do this, but I am not doing it that way. Additional notes. Any assumption also be added to the list of binary ideas. Oomped engineering. Okay, I maybe unbroke it, maybe not. Oh, I think that might have worked somewhat. It's like it worked, and it's like it fixed some things, but it looks like it also kind of broke some things. Is interesting. Okay, but let's go through these. It says AGI can be created. 0 confidence. The author of the text explicitly states that making AGI is not a given due to our lack of understanding of the principles of intelligence. Therefore, the confidence in the idea that AGI can be created is 0%. I wouldn't say it's 0%. He said it's not a given. So I would say he's not completely confident about that. But I wouldn't say he would say with 0% confidence. Maybe I need to change the temperature again, if that fixes things, but anyways, I'm still gonna go through the rest of this. Worries about the emergence of AGI are hysterical nonsense. The author of the text uses strong language to express their opinion that worries about AGI are unfounded. However, they also acknowledge the uncertainty surrounding the creation of AGI due to our lack of understanding of intelligence. Ooh, that's a good point. Therefore, the confidence in this idea is only 30%. And then the assumptions, AGI may not be possible due to our lack of understanding of intelligence. Is that directly from the quote? No, it's not a direct quote. That is kind of what he said. Okay. Intelligence is uniquely bound to biology. Actually, it's not doing what I was hoping it would do. Oh, this is so complicated. It's like, it has to get complicated to make it work the way I want it to work, but I was hoping it would just stay simple. I don't know how to prompt engineer this thing. Maybe I can send it over to ChatGPT and they can automate everything for me. Alright. Hello. How do I... Oh, hello. Hello, hello. I'm doing some prompt engineering, and I'm failing. But it's also pretty fun. And I'm at this point where, like, I don't know how to continue improving my prompt that I'm trying to do here. I don't know how to improve it in a way that goes towards what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to achieve. So now I'm like, okay, maybe I can just use GPT to help me come up with the prompt itself. So I guess I'm finding it out along the way, but I'm trying to have it where I'm just working on the MVP version, but right now you take a tweet, you paste that tweet in. Yeah, so you take a tweet. Oh, you want the end goal? I was going to explain the MVP version. I guess the end goal would be able to take any text, or ultimately it would be anything, any user-created content. But for now, I'm just going to say you take any user-created text, and then you input it, and then it shows you all the controversial binary ideas. So all the ideas that can be agreed with or disagreed with. And then it kind of explains each idea. What is the idea? And then it puts a percentage. It's like the person that created this content they are 70% confident in this idea, and then it explains why GPT decided on that percentage. So it's like GPT thinks the creator is 70% confident in the idea because of XYZ. That's kind of the overarching idea here, but I'm kind of running into issues with prompt engineering, and I can get kind of things that are like decent, but it's never like thorough as I would like. So yeah. That would be a really good idea. But definitely not for the MVP. For the MVP, I'm taking tweets on my own, copying it, pasting it in, and then testing the concept out. I want to get like kind of the fundamental parts of the system working. And right now they're not. Because like, I would like it so the confidence percentage is pretty consistent and it logically makes sense. Like this one, it says, so here's the tweet. It says AGI can be created. Oh wait, AGI can be created. Yeah, there's just a lot to it, and I'm working it out. I'm thinking I'd like the ideas to be as close to the user's text as possible. Like I don't like this because it says AGI can be created, but there was never a point in this text where it said that AGI can be created. He does say making an AGI is not a given, but he never says AGI can be created. So I'd like that to be closer to what the user text is rather than what was generated by GPT. Also, I need to turn this down. This is loud. Test case example. I would say this is the test case example. Take any tweet, paste it in. I guess desired output, right? I think that's what I'm trying to figure out, is what is the desired output. And I guess I don't know. I guess I'm gonna write that down in my notes. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm kind of in a loop where I'm changing the desired output over and over, and I'm not able to resolve to a certain desired output that I would like. What is desired output? Because it's hard to prompt engineer something if you keep changing the desired output, and that's kind of what I'm doing. True. That is true. I'm always... Actually, yeah, that... I'm always the person that doesn't want to be attached to a project. Like, I guess I don't want to be responsible, so I would love that if I could just like create it and then sell it. But then at the same time, I always worry about centralized entities having control over something. So if they could agree to make it open source or something, then that would be ideal. But who knows if I'll even finish this project. Oh, do you know? So I've literally been just putting my prompts as a string in text, uh, or a string in code. I mean, is there like a better way that you know to do that? Like, I suppose I could just like go to a text editor, write it there, and then paste it into here. But I don't know. I feel like it would be better if I had some sort of like pretty interface rather than just creating a string and writing it literally in VS Code. Sometimes I'm over here just like scrolling way over here. Could also do that. I feel like that's even worse user interface though than what I'm doing here. I'm just speaking for testing purposes as well. This is just JavaScript, TypeScript. I think this is, yeah, this is TypeScript version, JavaScript. I mean, I can code in any language though, but I'm, in the past year or so, I've used TypeScript the most, so if I want to MVP something, then I tend to use this. Got a lot of template codes for past projects, or template projects with a lot of template coding for past few years. Okay. Prompt engineering's different. I feel like it's very hard for me to make progress when it comes to prompt engineering. Like when it's coding, when I'm coding, I can make progress really quickly, but when I'm doing prompt engineering, which feels like a type of coding almost, it just feels harder to make progress though. Kind of interesting. Well, I don't really mean prompting for input for the user. I just mean for me. This is where I'm writing my system message. And it's just really not a pretty place to be entering it as a string. I'm thinking what I could be doing. Maybe what I could do is this. So I'll take my prompt here, copy it, then take my notes. I suppose this is probably a better idea. Just write my prompt in my notes and then copy and paste it over whenever I need to put it into code. Put that there. Because this is definitely much easier to read than that. Okay. So I wonder if I should focus on prompt engineering some more, or if I should focus on like kind of what you said and figuring out my desired output. I'm gonna think about that. Make progress in the idea space. Okay, so what is the desired output? It's gonna be a list of controversial binary ideas. Each binary idea has these values. giving Twitter free code without you. Interesting. That is interesting. Yeah, I'm very internally conflicted in open source versus not open source. I tend to definitely be biased towards open source. But not incredibly biased. Like, if I had to say what my bias is, it's probably like 60% biased towards open source. And when I think of like, oh, I won't benefit, the only reason I care about even benefiting from something I create is, it's like, oh, if I benefit, then I can solve some of my health issues. And then if I solve some of my health issues, I can create more stuff that helps more people. But then I think it's like, oh, or I could open source it and then everybody benefits. But you're right. It's almost interesting. Does everybody benefit, or does that mainly go to like centralized entities? I don't know. I'm definitely internally conflicted there. Dangerous and gives corporations exponential power. So, on that topic, so that seems to be, what's that guy's name? Elizer Yudkowsky or whatever. That seems to be what he thinks, but I don't know if that's what I think. Because it's like, if AI is open sourced, then everybody in existence, even some guy in India who's like broke but has a computer, can be learning this stuff. Whereas if it's not open source, there's gonna be some people in the shadows with a lot of money that are the adversarial people building scary stuff, and then maybe the person that could have built something that fought that adversarial stuff just didn't have the access because they're not rich, and it wasn't open sourced. That's kind of what I think about, but that might be incorrect reasoning, I'm not sure. But then there's the other side where it's like, if it's open source, the adversarial agents are definitely going to have it. But the only difference is that the good people also have it. Yeah, that's interesting to think about. Person A invents open source AGI. Company X steals it and controls it using greater investments. Person A gets screwed because of limited power. Company X takes over. Right. But So company company X can steal it, but can't the other good some other good company also steal it? And then you have the most powerful good companies versus the most powerful bad companies. uh Yeah, that... So that's if it was open sourced. So my memory's terrible. Let me... This is actually something I want to think out. So let me... AGI thoughts. So... open source route, most rich and powerful good AGI company, and then we got just rich and powerful bad AGI company. Random people giving away open source work, whatever you want to call it. Their work goes to both good and bad. They do not benefit from their work. Well, actually, that's a statement. How do they benefit from their work? Is it more likely their work benefits others? Will good beat bad? Will the fight of good versus bad kill everybody? Okay, so that's the open source route. Centralized route. In the centralized route, you still have the most rich and powerful good. You still have the rich good AGI company and the rich bad AGI company. Thoughts, but it's unknown if good company or bad company is ahead of the game. It's unknown who is ahead. If bad, if the bad company is ahead, then everyone dies. most likely. If good is ahead, then that's good. But centralized control almost always corrupts. So have to be careful. Okay, sorry, I was into my own thoughts. I do see that, yeah. Let's see. I don't know. It's hard for me to... Because one of the most... Ethereum is so successful, and it's not fully decentralized. It's a mixture of centralized and decentralized. A mixture of open source and... Well, I would say all the technology is open source, I think. Or maybe not all of it. But I'd say the majority of it is open source, and Ethereum and other Web3 projects are some of the ones that I see the most potential in and have added just incredible value. So person A starts a company and then controls IP, prevents companies like Facebook. Controlling IP, right? Because there's like strict rules when it comes to IP. Although I will say there's a lot of Web3 companies working on much better systems than what we have for controlling IP right now. Much more decentralized systems. Let's see. So we got controlling IP. But even if you control IP, the bad company could still have some sneaky technology they've created that they just haven't even told anybody about that's even more intelligent. But I'm still going to write that down. Controlling IP can be used to prevent bad actors from getting advanced technology. Right. This slows down... This slows down progress overall. So it slows down progress in general, which in turn, which can be bad, but can be good if it prevents bad actors from killing us all. Yeah, I feel like, just based on my past experiences, I feel like right now, maybe that centralized route potentially is better, but here soon, we're going to have systems where the decentralized route and open source route is going to be much better. just based on all the open source projects and new systems that are coming out that I've been following. Stuff about with like IP management, decentralized autonomous organizations. But I think we'll know when that time comes, because, and you can already see it a little bit, like there's certain companies with DAOs and random people are out there making good amounts of money just participating in these DAOs. But I think you'll see it on a huge level when we know those systems are ready. Yeah, that's fair. That is a good point. I think I need to think about this more. I still don't know if I'm more biased towards open source or not. But I'm definitely going to keep thinking about it. I need to go back to this Robert Breedlove podcast. There was a podcast he had once where he talked about how, what's it called? Like when you give stuff away for free, that's where value lies. But I don't know, it might be a totally different subject and totally different when referencing AI specifically and dangerous stuff. I wish I had an AI that could ponder on this topic. Maybe that's a worthy thing to spend time on. Get an AI to ponder all the different scenarios versus the open source versus centralized route. But it'd be very important to feed it right now. Like it has to have all information on like right now. To really accurately judge, I guess, if that makes sense. People could benefit off of it. I'm not sure I understand. Normal open source provides benefits to people. AI open source provides benefits to companies that can run it. Okay. Okay, since I know I'm biased towards the open source route, it's important for me to write out the other side. Centralized AI. Nah, I like the way you put that. Normal open source benefits people. AI open source benefits companies that can run it. And there's a good chance that's going to change. There's a very good chance that could change. But right now, you're totally correct. I was just recently trying to use... You know, I'm trying to stay up to date with the AI innovations and different tools. So I was like testing out some of the tools, and my GPU, I can't do crap on my GPU, and my GPU is pretty good. It's not like bad. It's pretty good. I can play like any video game. And I looked up the prices of the minimum needed GPU to do like use this basic tool, and it was like I would have, since I have medical bills and a bunch of, like I pay like $15,000 in taxes, it would literally take me like almost half a year to an entire year to buy this GPU that I need. So you're totally right. So you don't think universal basic income is soon? And you don't think there would be systems where that person could make money? I have a thought, but I feel like it's a thought down a whole different rabbit hole, so I'm not going to mention that yet. Every company has access to AGI. You're right. You're definitely right about that. Yeah. Yeah, the transition's what I worry about the most. And there's many reasons that transition would be rough. Like there's some basic things with that transition that's rough. Like people just not, like kind of losing meaning in life. That's actually like a really basic thing that I wouldn't struggle with, because I've really focused a lot on that over the years. But I know people, like some of my good friends, that they would like really struggle there. But that's just basic stuff. I almost think the risks from like companies and like big actors would overpower those little things possibly. Instead of every company using AGI, transition would be much easier with a handful of companies. You think so? So you think because... So saying that open source AI route, the reason that would be a tougher transition is because of bad actors? The bad actors will have a lot of power, and you think that those forces would make the transition much tougher, I think. Oh, I don't even need to imagine that. Just a few months ago, that was happening to me. But thankfully, I'm a very hard worker and landed an amazing job. But yeah, so imagine every company saying we don't need you. So I think if that happened, every company says we don't need you, then I think that would become obvious. That would be the headline in the news. And then the good actors would be working to fix that very quickly. And most likely it would be UBI. I mean, that's what my intuition says. It'd either be UBI or some sort of system for you to make money using your effort. Right. Okay. So... what about the scenario where everything's open source? Pretty quickly, nobody can get a job. The good actors, like your company, see this, so they start... like, pretty quickly, everybody's gonna be working to make sure UBI is a thing. UBI gets implemented. The fundamentals are already there, with WorldCoin and stuff like that. It rolls out, and then what's the problem, I guess? I guess it probably in reality wouldn't go that smoothly, is the thing. It wouldn't transition that smoothly, because you're dealing with very complex economics. Generated money. Make ours more productive. Okay, so the transition with centralized AI is much more safe than transition with open source AI. Okay, I got some questions. Okay, so one question that I'm thinking right now. So even though we're thinking about this, it may be pointless, because is open source AI inevitable? Is it possible to avoid? So, or maybe avoid's not the right. Is it possible to slow down for the sake of safety? Because I've been following the AutoGPT Discord, and it's just nuts. Like, I was there in the beginning, and it was slow, And now it's just like I can't even keep up with it anymore. And it's an open source project. I've seen that for non-open source stuff. I mean, I've seen it with open source stuff too. But yeah, it's just kind of nuts. That's a good idea. I still want to ponder. I'll probably ponder on this for a few days, maybe even longer, but I'm gonna make sure I actually do that. Yeah, I still don't know. I understand both sides, so I feel like I'm kind of 50-50 at this point. There's this guy I follow, Yoshabak, and he seems to be... He's kind of like a role model to me. Let's see, Yosha. And it seems he's on the... Here he is. He's on the open source. He's more biased towards open source. Wonder if he has anything recently about this topic of open source versus not. He's just really good at explaining things that I'm really bad at explaining my internal environment. But he's good at explaining things that I have internally and externalizing it in a much better way than I can do. I like this tweet. Eliza might accidentally end the world by destroying the data center of the one good AGI. I feel like he had one recently. Yeah, thank you for making me ponder on this stuff. Honestly, I feel like I don't even want to continue working on my project here until I've thought more about this existential thing that's related to safety. So yeah, thank you. Hope you have a nice rest of your day. I think I'm about to go have lunch myself, actually. Peace out. And I think there might be like one other person watching. Have a fantastic day. See ya.